The pink sauce lady should be studied. Lately, she's done some things that are so downright criminal and so deplorable that she killed her entire career. Like, I mean, it is dead. It is 6 feet under. It's not coming back. The coffin is bolted shut. There is no hope for her. The amount of things she's done, the amount of sins she's committed would fill up the Library of Alexandria. From her sauce that created health safety concerns last summer, increasing everybody's chances of botulism or other things, to now being exposed for lying about a company saying they weren't paying her, only for them to clap back with like 1,000 receipts proving her wrong. After everything, she's now pretending nothing ever happened and is moving on with full confidence that she has this situation in the bag. She still delusionally thinks that this is just the start of her career and things are only going up. Unfortunately, I have some pretty bad news for her. And today, I'm gonna take you on a delightful tour through the Pink Sauce Lady saga, going over her horrible business practices from start to finish, and her now denial of the whole situation. And it'll be like we're in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I'm Willy Wonka, you're the golden ticket winners. The chocolate river, it's the pink sauce river, and this is my botulism emporium. The Oompa Loompas? No, the Botulumpas. Yeah, this will be a life-changing experience. I guarantee it. So we're gonna go over the timeline of events, as well as pretty much every single business no-no she committed, examining the saga that has more twists, turns, betrayal, and sins committed than the Bible. So let's go back to the start of this saga. The story of the Pink Sauce Lady starts very far back, decades ago, eons ago, in the summer of 2022. We were at a real low point on Earth when just then, some miracle of the gods came in and saved us. The pink sauce. Her sauce was anything but a divine miracle, but this is what she'd have you believe. She would have you believe that the pink sauce is the second coming of Christ. Basically, we were at such a low point collectively that a simple little sauce that was pink colored somehow shot up and went viral. And I feel like viral is such an outdated term because it feels like things hardly go properly viral anymore, just not like they used to. But no, this thing genuinely did. And this started because Chef P, you know, as in P-I-I, not P as in go piss girl, was posting TikToks of her dipping food in the pink sauce or drizzling it on stuff. Everyone was talking about the pink sauce, and lots of her fans asked her for a recipe, and some were even just asking what it tasted like. And Miss P never gave an answer to any of those questions. See, she had hit a fork in the road. You know the diagram where the guy is standing and the path separates into two? One path is nice and the other is hellish? Well, this was Chef P back then. She had to make a choice. Would she take path A and make pink sauce an accessible concept for everyone, giving them a general description of what it tastes like or how to, leading her down a road where more people are happy, she doesn't get involved in horrible scandals, and she doesn't go into severe debt and reputation ruin? Or does she take path B and try to monetize the hell out of it using her business experience equivalent to an 8-year-old's? Well, very clearly she chose path B. She took those comments asking what it tasted like or how to generally make it and stomped on them. She threw them in the trash and lit them on fire. She monetized the hell out of it. But she sucked at this. We'll go way more into this later as to precisely how poorly she did as a business owner, but we have to get this timeline of events out first. She decided to gatekeep the pink sauce like it was the Krabby Patty secret formula. Want to know what's in it? Buy it. Want to know how to make it? Buy it. Oh, you want to know what it tastes like? Buy it. And since her sauce was initially priced at $20, you had to pay $20 for this. She sure was charging a lot for having no business expertise or qualifications. The level of care and planning that went into the pink sauce business is the same level of care and planning you'd expect for a kid's create a business assignment. So you know how the kids will have a general idea of what they want to make, and you know they want money, but there's absolutely no concept of legality or basic safety concerns to be found. That was also Chef P.
What do you mean FDA approved? I don't sell medical products. The pink sauce is not a medical product. The pink sauce don't contribute to your health. I never said that. Did I?
Right when people started receiving the pink sauce, they were immediately skeptical. the label she had created on her sauce showed it was clearly not FDA approved. Aside from its atrocious graphic design that would send most anyone into a coma, there were some other issues here. Her nutritional label made no sense. It said there were 444 servings per container, which was obviously inaccurate. It turns out there's only about 30 servings per container. Also, one of the ingredients on the label was incorrectly spelled. Vinegar turned into vinger. She started shipping this sauce out all across the USA, coast to coast, in the hot summer. No refrigeration or proper preservatives while shipping. And the ingredients contained milk, which obviously led to this thing being in a horrible state when it arrived for many people. In the sauce, a key ingredient is honey, which I mentioned in the last video is very alarming due to the fact that this increases the risk of getting botulism. It increases it by like tenfold. And to describe botulism for people who don't know, botulism is a foodborne illness that affects your nerves. It leads to paralysis and many other terrible symptoms. This was one of the biggest health concerns everyone had about the pink sauce. Other people were speculating that she also may have been using raw garlic cloves in the sauce, since she has that in her work in progress video of hers. And raw garlic cloves are a huge no-no for botulism avoidance. So a little bit after the shipping issues and safety concerns, she dipped off into incredibly irrelevant territory. She had a brief, much smaller surge in popularity after she appeared on a talk show regarding the pink sauce. Someone found glitter in their sauce, so they sent it to a lab to be tested to see if it was in fact glitter. And Chef P wasn't being talked about for her good way of responding to this. She was revealing herself to be incredibly harsh and vindictive to anybody who had anything bad to say about her.
I think it's delusional to send a sample to a laboratory after you stuck your finger in it.
You knew I had a problem with it, you could have contacted me and I could have turned around, and I'm not a hateful person. I could have been like,
But why would I contact someone who's fabricating something? To be honest, you're not special. You're not special.
So at this point in the timeline, she's revealed herself to be foolish with her business, completely non-caring about others' safety, egotistical, and downright rude to those who oppose her. Like, she has not done herself any favors at this point, and any chance of the situation being salvaged for her would have been a miracle. But here we are in the most magical timeline where she somehow got her miracle. Later on, she would take a fat dump on it and then waffle stomp it down the drain, something you shouldn't do with miracles, but for now, she had it. Her saving grace. Dave's Gourmet, a decently sized sauce company with a good reputation, decided to offer their hand and partner with her. This was huge for her because now, the production and distribution side of the pink sauce was now in the hands of Dave's Gourmet. She didn't have to worry about it. She didn't need to think about all the logistics of manufacturing. The company was able to produce it in a clean facility approved by the FDA and distribute it for sale in over 4,000 Walmarts. Which is way more exposure than Princess Chef P could have dreamed of because her TikToks they were not doing great at this time. There's no way she had that much reach. So this was a huge step up for her. However, there was one obvious drawback to the Dave's Gourmet deal that pretty much everybody noticed. The pink sauce was no longer pink. The color had changed to be more muted and sometimes even appeared orange. But still, at least the sauce was no longer radioactive or about to be like a maximum threat biohazard. So, still a step up. Yet something odd about the change of the sauce color though was the fact that in Chef P's TikToks, her sauce was still bright pink, and it didn't match the colors being found in stores at all, which made people speculate that this was her lying and faking the sauce color for her TikToks. Now, if you ask me, do I think she faked it? Listen, between you and I, just you and I in this room, my opinion, not fact, my opinion on this opinion video for entertainment is that obviously these colors don't add up. I mean, obviously, like, something weird was going on here. And at this point in the Chef P saga, things were just getting sad because her videos were just the same exact thing each time. She put the sauce on stuff and ate it. That's it. It was getting stale. Her marketing was failing, and the product was doomed to fade off. Her views steeply dropped, and no one bothered to pay attention to her again until now, where Chef P decided to randomly get up and bite the hand that fed her. The Dave's Gourmet deal just became incredibly interesting. A few weeks ago, Chef P started a GoFundMe and also posted an 8-minute YouTube video, both painting Dave's Gourmet in a horrible light. She basically said they weren't paying her and they were trying to ruin her, only for her to later take back the whole not paying her part, where she admits they gave her at least $120,000.
So first of all, I want to acknowledge this $120,000 that they've responded to the blog saying that they paid me. So number one, it wasn't an upfront payment of $120,000 straightforward. It was sent to me partially, but they were partial payments.
Though she never bothered to actually change this information in the GoFundMe. I guess it must be a trivial amount for her to overlook. You know, 120,000 chump change. And Dave's Gourmet also refuted her statements with a landslide of proof and receipts, including literal receipts. So let's just look at her ridiculous initial claims. Here are some key highlights from her fundraiser description. Hi, my name is Veronica Shaw, and I am the founder of the Pink Sauce LLC, one of the most viral sauce sensations of 2022. As a young entrepreneur with big dreams, I followed my intuition and went forth toward my dreams to create something new. I made a few mistakes on the way. A few, which led me to trust a company that is trying to take everything away from me. They lied to me, and they are not paying me, and are not being transparent about records. Okay, first of all, Miss P, you did not follow your intuition. You followed the money. Let's be real about that, first of all. Secondly, these are very big claims coming from her about Dave's Gourmet, okay? You don't just say that without proof. These are, if you say a company did not pay you, and they did in fact pay you, that can lead to a defamation trial. I think her intuition is quite frankly leading her astray. Remember, Dave's Gourmet has a very detailed response with mountains of proof and receipts to back their claims, while she's just saying stuff without evidence backing her up. I have tried on multiple occasions to try and come to one accord with them, but they refuse to reimburse me for my marketing expenses that I spent my own funds towards. I have been silenced and financially sabotaged. I am a single mom and do everything for my kids. Right now, I don't even have enough money to buy my kids food on my own. This part is really gross. The effect on her kids is 100% unfortunate, but deflecting the blame of that to Dave's Gourmet. She's deflecting the burden of responsibility in the situation. She threw away over $100,000 within the year. She's holding up her kids. Like, I can't buy them food, when she's clearly buying lots of other elaborate, expensive things for herself. When you look at her YouTube video, for example, her nails are done. She has lash extensions. Lash extensions are expensive, okay? They're very expensive to keep up or even get in the first place. So much so that would at least cover a week of your groceries for your family. And that's just on the lashes part. So I'm saying it is her financial literacy that is not helping the situation. So let's look at Dave's Gourmet's response. So according to the agreement in 2022, the requirement was that Chef P had to post pink sauce on social media 3 times a week, and Dave's Gourmet was responsible for producing and distributing it. And Chef P received $45,000 upfront, straight out, upright, as part of the agreement that was signed. And then Dave's Gourmet basically gave Chef P a freebie $30,000 so she could cover the refunds she was personally dealing with for the pink sauce. The refunds that she owed to people before Dave's Gourmet signed with her were not the responsibility of Dave's Gourmet to handle. She was supposed to handle that on her own. They had no obligation to give her that $30,000, but they did it anyway to help her out. So far, the deal's basically just started, and we're at Chef P receiving $75,000, and nearly half of it wasn't money she was supposed to get. Dave's Gourmet also expresses here that they really made sure that Chef P and her lawyer understood exactly how she was going to be paid. Dave's Gourmet even told her that she should have another job because royalties and earnings can fluctuate. So if she wants financial stability, she should go get something else. They really tried making sure she was all set up. They didn't need to, but they did. Then, in fall of 2022, Chef P was struggling financially, so they gave her multiple loans that totaled to over $40,000 without interest or fees. So then come March, she didn't pay any of that money back. It just went into the void or something. And then Dave's Gourmet was sitting there like, here's another $5,000. And once they did that, they once again told her that she should maybe pursue other financial opportunities. So what you see here from this response is the opposite of greed from Dave's Gourmet. It's not like they were making a whopping profit off of her, but they still tried to help. But then, in February of 2023, after the $40,000 in loans and $30,000 to deal with her refunds, among the actual contractual payment, Chef P wanted more money. She needed more. Her hunger was insatiable. Funnily enough, a TikTok she posted actually said that she was only thinking about money when she thought up the pink sauce. So this isn't surprising. She wanted $10,000 from Dave's Gourmet under the guise that it was to pay for marketing expenses, and these marketing expenses were labeled as her throwing herself a birthday party, paying for a dress that cost more than $800, and shoes that cost over $600. Explain to me how that's a vital marketing expense. Her initial TikToks that made the pink sauce viral didn't have anything extravagant or overpriced in it. After Dave's Gourmet said, "We don't approve of this," she decided to distance herself from them. And then again in February, she decided to submit more doo-doo business expenses for personal stuff like 4 pairs of sneakers and her entire grocery bills. And here, attached to their response, are literal receipts. The literal receipts she submitted for business expenses. There's the occasional pink sauce ingredient like dragon fruit on the receipts, but the vast majority of it is completely unrelated. Maria crackers, turkey wings, fettuccine. On the Foot Locker receipt she tried submitting as a business expense, it totals to over $500. In May, because of the loans Chef P had received and not paid back, the milestone royalty payment she was gonna receive was a mere $666. Now, if that isn't a sign to change your ways, $666, Dave's Gourmet decided to hold off on deducting the money she owed them and instead added $10K to that payment. She seriously got over $10,000 that month. Now, you personally, the one whom I'm speaking to, where were you in May 2023? Were you hounding a company for money, trying to write off sneakers and Maria cookies as business expenses? I think not. You were probably being a good, upstanding citizen, probably, debatably, but while you were doing that, Chef P was getting $10,000 for doing nothing and then still complaining about it. Like, I don't know what to say. Now, because of all the money that Chef P was supposed to pay them back, they deducted this from the royalties. And now it ended up that Chef P owed Dave's Gourmet $6,000. Her balance was in the negative. Chef P's money hunger got super bad in June 2023. This is where the audacity really jumps out. You know, like the scene from Alien? She's got like the audacity like coming out of her, right? The audacity, entitlement, final boss. She asked Dave's Gourmet to pay her for her time dedicated to making social media content. Her invoice said she put in 1,400 hours for her marketing, and her work is valued at $90 an hour. 1,400 hours at $90 an hour. That totals to $126,000. She requested $126,000 for making TikToks. Like, there's no way those numbers are real. In my opinion, there's no shot. 1,400 hours on making TikToks. Her TikToks basically have no editing or anything going on. When you run the calculations from October 2022 to June 2023, saying she put in 1,400 hours on these TikToks, that would mean over 5 hours per day. There's no way she spent over 5 hours per day on average. After Chef P went public on social media saying that Dave's Gourmet wasn't paying her, the company said, "We will literally pay for your lawyers so you can read through the contract and understand it better, so that way you can see how this is fair." And Chef P rejected this with a lightning speed and came back saying they need to pay her $1.5 million if they want to continue selling pink sauce. Here it says it was never said in the contract they needed to pay her to keep selling it, so this is another one of her requests that just does not make sense. But, like, $1.5 million. $1.5 million. Are you kidding me? Let this be a lesson, alright? Yes, there's lots of lessons in this to not be like Chef P, okay? But Dave's Gourmet, you can still learn from what they did, and that sometimes you give someone an inch and they try to take a mile. You gotta stop giving people ground at a certain point because they'll just try to push for more. Get this, after the social media posts and everything, Dave's Gourmet still gave her more money because she was facing eviction from her apartment, so they gave her $14,000. That brings the amount of money they gave her to over $160,000. And then the following week, Chef P asked for $250,000. And reminder, she's also asking the public for $100,000 on her GoFundMe. She's thrown a fit on social media saying they have not paid her and have been preying on her downfall. Let's look at her kind words on the YouTube video she's posted.
These people just took permission and abused it. Now that I'm uncomfortable and they know that I would have been hiring legal help, they make this bogus excuse as to why they're putting expenses on top of my royalty. It does not work like that. It's like, long story short, these people defrauded me. So I will have to sue them for fraud.
All right, ma'am, I'm gonna need you to listen up here, all right? Dave's Gourmet said they have been contemplating a defamation lawsuit. But the caveat is, she doesn't really have the money that makes suing worth it. Let's just say they sue her for $40,000. Where's she gonna get that from? I don't know, but that doesn't mean there's no motive to still go through with a lawsuit. There's been tons of examples of people or companies going through with lawsuits where all they ask for is $1. But the reason why they want to win it sets an example: don't do this to me again, or I will come for you. You know, she's not exactly in the clear. I think she doesn't get the law, right? Like, most of us don't get the law. We haven't gone to law school. We haven't passed the bar. But if you were in Chef P's position, you would have reacted differently, because they literally offered to pay for her lawyers so she could understand better. And she said, no. Like, just flat out rejected it.
What these people did to me was gave me an ambiguous piece of paper that you don't know if you turn it left or you turn it right, and they're just manipulating words, and it does not work like that.
Let me just say something. Just because you don't get the contract doesn't mean it's shady. But that's her thing, right? She deflects blame. And then the rest of this video is mostly her talking about how great and godly her product is.
This is an innovative brand. This is an innovative product, which comes with risk, which means that money has to be allocated and put into marketing. And yes, I am in this for the long haul. That's why I'm here still fighting for my brand, because I'm not looking at the $1 million that was made. I'm looking at the millions and millions of dollars that wasn't made because they're not freaking listening to me. I created the pink sauce, which is a vibrant, bright colored, beautiful, scrumptious, delicious sauce.
I can't even find the words to describe just how hilarious this is. Her belief that she basically pioneered the concept of colored sauce is a level of delusional I aspire to be. Because I think if you're that delusional, you gotta feel free, you know what I mean? Like, the shackles of limitations are off. You just, like, every day is an adventure. So I said this in my first pink sauce video, but the pink sauce is not a groundbreaking idea. People love food and people love bright colors, so combining these things were sort of inevitable. Now, an earlier example of a wacky colored sauce is in the early 2000s, Heinz created a product called Heinz Easy Squirt, which was their ketchup that was colored a whole bunch of different shades, such as blue, purple, and green. And currently there's a ketchup by Great Value called Nickelodeon Slime Sauce. And now we finish this video of hers with her comparing herself to Beyonce and suggesting she could be an inspirational figure.
I'm comparing, call me delusional, but yes, I'm comparing myself to Beyonce. If Beyonce went dead ass broke, would you tell her to get a job? No. I really hope that my story inspires or helps somebody else that is going through something.
So now's a great time to just talk about some other things Chef P did wrong in her career. The story of Chef P and her pink sauce is such an interesting one to study because it's like a modern day Icarus. The myth where this guy was so overconfident he flew into the sun. That's Chef P. She has drowned in her own sauce. Chef P is worse, though, because the safety concerns with the glitter in the sauce or high botulism risk, it was a health risk for others. And now she's leeching off of other people, demanding money from them, while not staring in the mirror and being honest with herself about what actually went wrong with her business. She received her payment. She wasn't defrauded. She conned herself. She made multiple decisions on her own that greatly contributed to where she is now. And one big thing I want to mention is how she never broadened her business. She just stuck to the pink sauce, and that's it. A single product. She made no attempts to improve it, and no attempts to expand on anything else. See, her expanding her business could have helped her. Not that she should have been helped. God, no. Like, when I make suggestions for what she could have done, I don't think she deserves to have that happy outcome after how she treated people. But I will make these suggestions to point out how all of this could have been avoidable if she had an ounce of humility that made her think, maybe the problem is me, and maybe I can make adjustments. If she expanded her business to other foods or bold colors, other sauces and whatnot, she could have hit on another hype train and had another product take off. She could have broadened her customer base, because if she had more products, that's more different things that appeal to whole new groups of people. A very odd thing I've noticed is that right from the start, on her original pink sauce labels, and even now, you see her company name is actually Flavor Crazy Inc. It's not a name specifying pink sauce, it's Flavor Crazy Inc., flavors in general. And this indicates that she had some idea to branch out. Otherwise, she would have just called it the Pink Sauce Company or something. So the question is, when the pink sauce really wasn't working and things died out, why did she cling to it so much? Obviously, everything in this video I'm saying regarding her intentions is speculation, because I'm not inside her head, thank God. But with that being said, I honestly think she was just too stubborn to give up on it. She doesn't believe she failed her own sauce. She has not taken accountability on that. So maybe she just wanted to desperately try to make pink sauce work because when it initially took off, it gave her such a rush and she doesn't want to accept that it could just naturally fall away. She has to think it was taken from her. She doesn't know how to cut her losses. Learning to cut your losses is super important so you don't, go bankrupt. She's demonstrated an inability to take criticism and fell in love with her own product. Accepting criticism is very important because it can hurt you, but you can't shut it all down, otherwise you're not improving your product. You should like what you do, but also accept it can be improved. It's not fun to hear you did something wrong, but it is important to do something better the next time. So right now, I would like to just talk about the little remnants of her business that she's clinging onto and where she's probably going with her future. So right now she has a website where she's selling recipes for random pink food. And this pink sauce pasta recipe photo is killing me. Like, she's just going all in on that thing with her hands. Unprotected, aggressive, pasta gripping. You love to see it. But I do have a question. Why is this recipe sold out? It's a digital recipe. How is it sold out? And why are people buying it? Did she only create a certain amount of digital copies to create demand? That's gotta be it. That is the only thing that is sold out on her website, by the way. I can't imagine any of this is selling well. In 2 of her more recent TikToks, she also appears to be using a pink sauce powder with her food, which might mean she's finally thinking of branching out, which is a bit late for it, and she also doesn't provide any context for the powder. She just showed her using it, but didn't say anything else about it. And now, she's just trucking on ahead, moving on, like this whole Dave's Gourmet situation, like nothing ever happened. I mean, she's acting like this has worked out in her favor, as if her reputation is not at an all-time low. So on her TikTok and her Instagram, she posted a video where she's taken out her laptop and she's like, better days are coming, better days are coming. I mean, sure, she's at rock bottom, so better days surely will be coming eventually. But as of right now, I don't know. I think she's in the trenches. I think this Dave's Gourmet situation is just going to end pretty horribly for her in terms of her long-term success. And then on her Instagram, she has another thing posted where she's meditating with candles lit and everything else like that. And she's trying to cling to modern mysticism to try to save her and pull her out of this. Listen, I'll be real with you, girl. Try conjuring up the energy of any deity. They're not going to be able to pull you out of this. No divine force can save you now. So here she's got grand risings in the midst of chaos and confusion, wanting to express ourselves or defend ourselves. But justice will be given in due time. Just breathe and let it flow. I saw her post on her Instagram story. All low vibrational energy sent to me is used to vibrate higher. That's on energy mastery. So again, instead of holding herself accountable for her bad actions, she is once again reducing this entire situation to haters gonna hate and thinking it's something that's meant to up-level her and, further her into this new stage of ascension where she's taken all the bad energy and turning it into good energy and moving forward. It's just very interesting that that's what she's taking out of this. It's like she twists every little thing to serve her. Her most successful avenue to pursue would be being that person who occasionally shows up on a TED Talk or becoming a writer where she can publish, "I ruined my career, and so can you," and maybe the intellectual title of Pink Sauce from Pink to Stink. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video because I was deeply fascinated by the situation. I mean, there are so many lessons to be learned in this. Obviously, it's fun to watch a greedy person fail to maintain power, how she threw away all momentum she had towards being successful, and how she ruined her reputation, all because of her huge ego. But yeah, thank you for sticking around to this point in the video. If you like what you see, you could always like or subscribe, whatever floats your boat. I also have social media, a second channel, and some merch. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.